Well, howdy, y'all. Handy Redneck here. It's May 28th, 2019. It's about 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's 76 degrees out still. And I want to talk to you about a mistake I kind of made. I forgot. Uh, One of the things I do is I use straw for a lot of things. Well, I usually use it in the bottom of a pot or a bucket to allow for drainage because I know it'll decompose over time. I don't normally use a lot in those, but I've never really had a problem. But with these raised beds, I kind of did a Hugelesque approach to them. I put wood in. There's wood. Uh, there's wood probably down to about here, or up to about here inside there. So there's about 6 to 8 inches of wood in there, and then from there up to about here was straw to keep the soil from dissipating down through the wood. For one thing, it would cost me less in soil to backfill, and that's what I did. And then from that point on up, it was soil. Well, if you look at this bed, all of the beds have sunk. The soil that was almost dead even with the top has now sunk by about 3 or 4 inches. Well, that's primarily the straw decomposing, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. We wanted it to decompose and become compost and fertilizer. The thing is as it decomposes, it needs a lot of nitrogen to accomplish that decomposition. And I've been sitting here scratching my head, wondering why my gardens ain't doing as hot as they should. And it come to my attention that, hey, dummy, they need more nitrogen because it's being sapped off. So I got me some 274. It's 2% nitrogen, 7% potassium, and 4% phosphate or potash. And we've been applying it to this every couple of weeks, and we're going to give it another application today. Here it is. We're going to do about 2 of these little containers here. We'll say about 2 cups worth per big bed here. And that's because all the rain we've been getting, in conjunction with the straw underneath, sucking up the nitrogen, has depleted these raised beds something awful. Of all sorts of things. I forgot that a raised bed is a container garden, just on a bigger scale. And we need to amend the soil more often than we would an actual garden out out in the ground. So we're doing some amendments to the soil because of the straw underneath. Now, I'm going to show you the results of using this 274 fertilizer. Is if you look here, this bucket of loofah was my experiment. I was like, okay, we're going to use these loofahs as and amend them to see if we can't fix some growth. And these loofahs here are now big, green, beautiful things. Look at these squash over here that got an application about 2 weeks ago. They were all yellow and dying leaves, and it's come back and flushed out with some of these gorgeous green leaves. So, you know, we're going to give it a little bit of a feed. And like I say, there's several factors at work as to how I screwed up. One of them is the weather. All the rain we've gotten has just been real tough on these beds. Now, these beds, like I say, are a Hugelesque Frankenstein contraption. They do have the wood down in the bottom, but a normal Hugelesque, you would have just buried it with topsoil or dirt and called it good. Me, I've used my straw, which I love using for just about everything. As you can see, the straw on the ground. In some places it's so wet that it started growing, but that's okay. The straw gets used for all sorts of things. And having successfully used straw for many years in the bottom of flower pots to ensure good drainage, I didn't think twice about using it in these raised beds to hold moisture, allow drainage, and to over time add nutrients. Not one question in my mind about it. The problem was the problem with it all is that I forgot it was a container, and containers need more food, and I didn't realize in my head that the amount of straw I was putting in there was going to be such a nitrogen drain. But it was. So about every 2 weeks I've been lightly hitting these things up, especially with the amount of rain, trying to feed them up a little bit. Again, with a 274, 2% nitrogen, 7% potassium, and 4% phosphate or potash. I'm just going ahead and amending this. This is the next potato experiment. We got 10 potatoes from our Magic Mollies earlier. We're going to actually fill this tub completely with dirt, and once the harvested potatoes chit out, we'll plant them into this pool and go for a late season harvest on those. So sometime in June we'll plant those. But I'm trying to get it all ready. Again, these cucumbers, if you look carefully down here, you can see some of the older leaves that were really yellowed out, and now the cucumbers have taken off after they've been being fed. So again, that bucket is about half straw, so that straw, as it's decomposing, is working as a nitrogen drain. So we just come in here and we feed up a little bit. Now I ain't too worried about this bucket of beans here. We'll give them a little bit, but we ain't too worried about nitrogen for them, because beans naturally affix nitrogen into the soil anyway, so we got that. So, and then up here under this here pecan tree, we got another set of cucumbers, and they're starting to take off a little bit. But yeah, just thought I'd bring you along and talk with you about my screw up, because I forgot, and let you guys have a go at it yourselves. So this has been a handy redneck. I'll talk at y'all later.